Channel 503. I'm Christy, Chow, and this is the 1 o'clock report. It's been 5 months since the attack on Pearl Harbor, and all the men have been sent off to fight against the German and Japanese forces. The U.S. has officially been at war since December 7, 1941. Since the men have left for war, the women have taken over their roles in the workforce. The government has set up propaganda campaigns to encourage women to join the workforce. The main face of this campaign is Rosie the Riveter with her famous slogan, "We Can Do It," which is directed towards women to join, help the government construct their warfare equipment, assist in the armed forces, and nurse the injured while still being housewives. Now let's see how these women are adapting to these roles with Gabby.
Hi, I'm here with Megan Smith, a worker at a Navy equipment company where they produce weapons and ammunition for the U.S. forces fighting overseas. When did you decide to start working in the factories?
I decided about a year after our country became involved in the war. When my husband was enlisted to serve our country, I realized the burden fell on me to provide for my family.
What is your regular daily routine as a working woman?
I wake up early and make sure the kids get to school. Then I walk 20 minutes to the factory where I work. There I work about 8 hours every day except Sunday. When I get home, I'm exhausted and ready to go to bed, but first I have to do the laundry, clean the house, and make dinner. Then I go to bed and wake up and do it all over again.
Do you think all your hard work is paying off?
Well, I know the work I do is helping soldiers overseas, but things are still pretty rough back at home. For all the work I do, I receive about half of what a man would get for doing the same thing. It is a little bit frustrating, but I do what I can to provide for myself and my family.
Hi, I'm here with a factory owner by the name of Richard Donnelly. Richard, what is your opinion on women in the workforce?
Since all the men are away at war, I admire the women for stepping in for their husbands. Obviously, I prefer men working my factory, but since it is impossible, I am willing to employ young women.
You mentioned preferring male workers to female workers. Does this mean that when the war is over and the men come back, you'll fire the women and give the men back their jobs?
Yes, of course. I admit the women are better at some things, but since if the veterans come back asking for their old jobs, I'll, of course, give it to them. Thank you, Gabby. Now let's go to Amanda with the statistics on the production of warfare equipment since women have joined the factory and the stats of women in the workforce.
As you can see on the chart,
According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the percentage of women working in the industry was estimated to be around 6.3% in the iron and steel field, 5.7% working in the automobiles field, 43% working in textile mills, and 75% working in apparel clothing fields. However, due to the U.S.'s entrance in the war, the percentage of women in the workforce is on the rise. It is projected that by 1944, 22.3% will be working in the iron and steel industry, 24.4% will be working in the automobiles field, which produces thousands of tanks, airplanes, and other military vehicles, 51.4% will be working in textile mills, and 78% will be in the apparel industry. When surveyed if they would continue to work in the post-war period, 75% of the women surveyed said yes. In addition, 86% of the women surveyed wanted their post-war jobs in the same industrial group as their wartime jobs. Back to you, Christy.
We'll be right back after this short message. Welcome back to Channel 503 News. Now let's go to Jennifer with a report on women Air Force service pilots and Women's Army Corps.
I'm here with a woman who's a part of the Women's Air Force Service Pilots, which is also known as WASP. What exactly is it that you do?
I, along with the other women who are part of WASP, maneuver the planes filled with military weapons, cargoes, and other materials. We learned how to have full control over the planes and use the knowledge when we're on flight-related missions.
How has your life changed now that the men have gone off to fight in World War II?
Instead of working at home doing household chores, I'm able to do the things that men aren't able to do now they're fighting off in Europe and Asia.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, to the people who thought that women couldn't possibly take over the jobs of men. The women at WASP were so talented at being pilots. We even got to test out the new planes.
I'm here with a worker from WWII, which also stands for Women's Army Corps. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, what exactly do you do?
Well, there are 4 main units of the WAC, which is cookery, mechanical, clerical, and miscellaneous. Currently, I'm a cook, but some days my coworkers and I get put into different units.
How did you get this job?
I had to go to training camp in order to learn the mechanical and clerical skills, but I was never promised a job in the WAC. In order for me to have obtained this job, a man had to be released to the front lines.
How has your life changed ever since you got this job?
Not only am I a housewife, but I am also part of the women's branch of the United States Army.
Do you think that holding a position in the WAC has made you stronger?
Yes, I do believe that working in the WAC has made me stronger, because I am now able to do the jobs that the men originally had, since they're off at war.
This is Channel 503. I'm Christy Chow, signing off.